I am.
Hi everyone, welcome to Smack Reviews. If you love our honest reviews, smack that subscribe button so you never miss out. When I first heard about Sinners, I thought it was going to be something similar to the Color Purple remake that came out last year. But this movie completely surprised me, in a good way. It had this supernatural bluesy vibe that I feel has really been missing from Hollywood lately. The last time vampires had this kind of presence was probably during the Twilight era. But Sinners takes a totally different route. It dives into vampirism and music, set in the 1930s, deep in the South. And it's honestly such a fresh take. Let's get into what this movie is about. The movie is set in 1932 Mississippi. Our main character is Sammy, a young talented guitarist. His father, who's also a pastor, believes that his music is sinful and unholy, creating a lot of tension between Sammy's passion and his family's strict beliefs. Sammy's cousins, twin brothers Smoke and Stack, are played by Michael B. Jordan, and let me just say, he kills it in both roles. It actually gave me flashbacks to when I thought Lindsay Lohan had a real life twin in The Parent Trap. If I had to choose, Smoke was probably my favorite of the two. The twins are World War I veterans who return to Mississippi after spending years in Chicago. With money earned through questionable means, they buy a sawmill from a racist landowner and convert it into a juke joint for the local black community. They bring Sammy along to play guitar, despite his father's warnings that blues music is the devil's work. A good portion of the movie shows the trio preparing for the opening of their juke joint, recruiting musicians, reconnecting with past lovers, and sharing some genuinely funny moments. We also meet some Asian shopkeepers who add a little spice to the mix. Meanwhile, in another part of Mississippi, an Irish American vampire is being hunted by a group of Native American vampire hunters. He ends up hiding out in the home of the racist landowner's son and his wife. They reluctantly agree to shelter him, and soon after, they're turned into vampires themselves. This is when the movie takes a darker, more intense turn. When the juke joint finally opens, Sammy's music takes center stage, and he ends up catching the attention of both the crowd and a love interest. But here's the twist. His music isn't just moving people emotionally, it's summoning actual spirits and attracting the vampires. Things escalate fast. Stat gets turned into a vampire by his ex-girlfriend, and it all leads to a violent emotional showdown between the undead and our main characters. The film tackles some big themes like cultural appropriation, systemic oppression, and the raw power of music as a form of resistance. Overall, Sinners was a great movie. It felt like a mix between a history lesson and pure entertainment. The beginning was a little long-winded, and at one point, I was really wondering when the horror would kick in, but when it did, it was awesome. I do wish the Native American characters played a bigger role. They felt a bit underused and mostly served as a plot device to bring in the main vampire without it feeling too random. But still, I love the look of the vampires, the soundtrack, and the fact that they stuck to traditional vampire lore, like not being able to enter a building unless invited, their weakness to garlic, and stakes being used to kill them. That was such a nice touch. This is definitely a movie worth watching with a friend or a significant other, and I absolutely would rewatch it again. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye!